appropriate that I'm wearing my Pride shirt today. Hey everyone, it's Helen, and today for my first free-for-all video of my schedule, I want to talk to you about something that I've liked for a few years, but this year more or less became a little bit obsessed with. Now, you all know that in America we have our shows like American Idol, The Voice. We did have the X Factor for a little bit. But today I'm here to talk to you about the oldest and grandest of these singing competitions, and that is the Eurovision Song Contest. Now, those of you in America might be wondering, Helen, what is the Eurovision Song Contest? And why should I care? Well, people inside the camera, I'm very glad you asked, because I'm going to tell you all about it and why I love it so much. The Eurovision Song Contest can be best described as the Olympics, but it's a singing competition. The Eurovision Song Contest is an annual singing competition in which every country in Europe, barring a few, plus some from outside the European region, send one act to represent itself. And all the countries vote on whose act is the best. Now, Eurovision has changed a lot since it was first held in 1956. Although there's around 40 countries per year on average participating today, back then there were only 7 countries and only the winner was announced, and we did not know how many points that the winner earned. Another notable difference is that each country was allowed 2 songs. Switzerland won the very first Eurovision Song Contest with Lisbon's refrain. Since then, a number of rule changes have been made. For starters, a country cannot vote for itself. A country can only send 1 song per year, and it must be a song that has been released after September 1st of the previous year. So, for example, the Eurovision Song Contest 2018 will only allow songs that have been released on or after September 1st, 2017. Which means that the winning song may have already been released and we don't even know it yet. Perks of that. As I said earlier, the contest has ballooned from 7 contestants in its first iteration to a maximum of 43 at its peak. Eurovision has been going on for 62 years, and the general rule is that the country that wins Eurovision one year will get to host the following year's contest. So, for example, Jamala from Ukraine won last year with her song 1944, and the 2017 contest was held in Kyiv, Ukraine. And next year's song contest will be held in Portugal because Salvador Sobral won the song contest this year with over 700 points. And side note, this is the first win for Portugal in over 50 years of participation, which up until this year was the longest drought for any country, whether they had won before or not. The Eurovision Song Contest used to be held on one day. That has since changed to accommodate the number of countries that want to participate. Starting in the late 2000s, 2 semifinals were held to determine which acts got to go through to the final. And an interesting note here is that there are 6 countries that are allowed automatic buys into the final. The winning country from the prior year gets an automatic buy into the final. So, for example, Ukraine didn't have to be in any of the semifinals. They were already there, and Portugal will have the same thing next year. The other 5 countries are known as the Big 5, and they are the countries that contribute most to the cost of Eurovision. And they are Germany, France, the United Kingdom, Italy, and Spain. Now, the Big 5 have come under a bit of controversy over the years because they haven't exactly done well. In fact, the bottom 3 acts this year were all acts that had an automatic berth into the final. That's not to say that their songs weren't great, they just weren't very memorable. And finally, the most important aspect of Eurovision is, of course, the voting. As I said before, countries cannot vote for themselves, and though many different voting systems have been in place over the years, the most common one, and the one used since 1975, has been the rule of awarding a certain set of points to each country. And these days, a country's total points is split between a jury of music professionals as well as televotes from the public. Up until 2015, the results of the jury and the public vote were combined in a set of points, ranging from 12 points for the favorite act overall, 10 points for their second, and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on down the line. And the country, of course, with the most points wins the Eurovision Song Contest. Since 2016, however, the jury and the televote have been allowed to award their own set of points each, which means that one country could win one country's televotes, while another country could win another jury votes, and those points will be tallied separately. This has been done mostly, I think, to up the stakes or the tension when the winner and the points are coming through and being announced. And speaking of points being announced, they are awarded the same night, which means that after 2 hours of 3-minute songs being performed by 26 countries, usually in the grand final, then we get another hour to 45 minutes of the countries announcing their points. And a spokesperson will be reached, used to be by phone, but now is by satellite video link. And usually the person who will announce a country's points is a well-known celebrity in that country, or is a person who is related to Eurovision, maybe a past winner, a past contestant, a past host. You get the idea. In terms of the countries that have been most successful in the early years of Eurovision, it was a lot of Western European countries. For example, France had all but one of their 5 wins in the first 15 years of Eurovision. That includes 3 individual wins and a joint win in 1969, because 4 countries, the Netherlands, Spain, England, and France, all got 18 points, and because there was no tie-breaking procedure, they were all declared winners. Ireland has won 7 times, including 4 wins in 5 years in the 90s. Johnny Logan from Ireland in the 80s won twice, and he's the only singer to have won the contest twice. And technically, he's won the contest 3 times because he wrote the 1992 winner's single, Why Me by Linda Martin. Who knew? Now, as you would expect with the voting procedure, there's often accusations of bias in place. For example, countries in the same region will tend to vote for each other. Greece and Cyprus do this a lot. They'll give each other 12 points. And sometimes an act that is more seen as a joke will get a high number of points, while an act that many perceive as better will get robbed and will end up lower on the poll. This is the case this year when Austria's entry, Running on Air by Nathan Trent, which was one of my favorite entries of 2017, by the way, got 0 points from the televote. 0 points! Ugh. I will say, though, that Salvador Sobral and Amar Pellos deserved to win this year for Portugal. Not only because Portugal needed a win, but also because I think it was the best song, the best staging. And that's the thing with Eurovision. This is something I love about Eurovision. It's not just about the song. It is about the staging. It is about the background. It is about the atmosphere that you give off. We talk about the fashion. Of course, if a singer hits a bum note and is not a very good singer, that lowers their points. But you can't just have the staging. You can't just have the voice. You can't just have the song. It has to be a good, great, well-presented combination of the 3. That is generally what makes a great Eurovision act. Hence, Salvador Sobral had the voice, the song, and the staging this year to win. That is not to say I disliked the top 5. I did. Who came second this year? I can't even remember. Oh, Bulgaria. Another interesting thing is that countries will sometimes have to pull out, and some countries haven't participated in a while. Turkey has not participated since 2011. Monaco has also not participated. Luxembourg, who won the contest 5 times, has not participated since the early 90s. Maybe they'll come back. I do love the campiness of Eurovision, though. It's such a fun atmosphere. It's something where usually you can take politics and put them to the side in favor of having a great time, of great performances, and usually the hosts are pretty great. One of my dreams is to go to a Eurovision Song Contest somewhere. I kind of want the UK to win one soon, so I don't have to travel quite as far. Most of you will know that I've lived in England in the past. I'm not saying a ticket to Lisbon would be a bad idea this year. Anyways, the preparations in Lisbon appear to be going smoothly. I'm so excited for next year's contest. I'm so excited to see the contest that Portugal will put on, because I have no doubt that they'll want to do their very best in their first hosting. But anyways, yeah, I love Eurovision. I love how into it everyone gets. I love the atmosphere around the voting. I love that no one takes themselves too seriously. It's become a teeny bit less campy, and it is actually airing in the United States, which I have a problem about. I don't have a problem with it airing in the United States. I just wish there was better access to it. Anyways, that's a whole separate video, and that I'll probably do on my second channel. It is airing on the United States on Logo TV. Eurovision is usually held in May. So the Eurovision Song Contest 2018 will be held on May 8th and 10th. Those are the two semifinals. The top 10 from those two semifinals will head on to the final. And the grand final will be on May 12th. So I kind of want to go to Eurovision because that would be like the best birthday present ever, since my birthday is like a week later. But there are a lot of countries that have already confirmed on paper that they will be there. And just because a country isn't listed that's participated in the past doesn't mean that they haven't confirmed yet. I believe September 15th was the deadline. So we have Armenia, Australia is in the contest, by the way. Side note, Austria, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Georgia, Greece, Iceland, Ireland, Latvia, Lithuania, Malta, Montenegro, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Romania, Serbia, Slovenia, Sweden, Switzerland, Ukraine, France, Germany, Italy, Portugal, Spain, United Kingdom. And Eurovision is even spreading worldwide too. Eurovision Asia is now a thing, so we have like all these countries from Asia can come together and do Eurovision Asia. I'm super excited about that. I love Eurovision. I love watching Eurovision. I was so happy last year that I got to watch Eurovision in Europe, in the UK, with a whole bunch of Europeans. Before I leave you, I want to leave you with some of my favorite songs from the Eurovision Song Contest. I don't know a ton about pre-2010 songs, although I do love Alexander Rybak's Fairy Tale. I started watching the contest in 2014, and this year was the year that I got like super into it. So some of my favorite Eurovision tracks: Loreen, Euphoria, I think is the best winner song ever, lovely. Heroes from 2015 by Måns Zelmerlöw. The following year when he hosted in Sweden with Petra Mede, best hosts ever. I hope that Sweden wins every year so we can have them as hosts. And then Rise Like a Phoenix by Conchita Wurst, drag queen who won in 2014, Queen, and Donna International, who I would be remiss to not mention, the first transgender winner of Eurovision ever, from Israel, 1998. Good for you. Celine Dion won Eurovision in 1988, and ABBA won in 1974 for Sweden. So that's where they got their start. As far as my favorites from this year, Fly With Me by Artsvik from Romania, Don't Come Easy, Isaiah from Australia, Running on Air, as I said previously, Skeletons, I think might be my second favorite song from this year, by Dihaj from Azerbaijan, very close to Amar Pelishdois. Never Give Up on You, I thought from Lucy Jones of the UK, I thought the UK was unfairly overlooked in the televotes because they actually did a really good job this year, despite not trying the last couple years. Hey Mama by Sunstroke Project from Moldova, best placing for Moldova this year. Those are some of my favorites from this year, from years past. You can go check them all out on iTunes. I'm sure I'll make a playlist somewhere and link it below if they are available in the US. And I want to talk a lot more about Eurovision in case you couldn't tell by the length of this video. So I think I might talk more about it on my second channel, because national finals and internal selections will be happening all the way up through probably March, I think, is when we'll know the final list of participants for this year, participants, artists, songs. But yeah, I will talk more about that on my second channel when I get a chance. And those, again, will be not quite as edited. So yeah, you can subscribe over there if you want to see me obsess about Eurovision more. You can subscribe here for new videos every single week. Next week will be movies and music again. And you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Tumblr, all of that fun stuff. I can't wait to talk more about Eurovision with you guys. I love it so much. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I love y'all very much. Remember to keep living awesome lives, and I'll see you soon. Bye.